Dear friends, I'm Esbjörn Hörnberg and I'm happy to be here again, I must say. I learned from the chief economist of the World Bank that you should start the presentation with a joke. I have tried that a number of times. Once in Vietnam with a parliamentary session, they didn't laugh. So I will not. I will start with saying that I have been here before in Thiruvananthapuram. It was called Thiruvananthapuram at that time, due to Johnson. We had planned, that was in the middle of the 1990s. We were in the same board of Movendi International for a number of years, and we had planned to do something in south of India. I have been in Sri Lanka for a number of times, and I tried to combine that. So I came here to Thiruvananthapuram, and we had a tour to drug-free and alcohol-free university together with the governor of Kerala. And before going back, Johnson should have a special program in a college for women. So we went there, and I wanted to see how this program could run out, or turn out. And then he told me that, oh, Esbjörn, I need to go to the bank. Yes, I said that for me it's going to the bank that takes 20 minutes more or less, and then you're back and so. So he left me on the stage with 800 girls in front of me and went to the bank. And he returned 2 hours later. And I was sitting there on the stage, and this was just before Christmas. And in Kerala, I didn't know anything of what to do. So I thought that maybe I should try to tell them what we are doing in midsummer in Sweden. Because that was, I tried to learn them some dances together with children, how we enjoy the highlight in Sweden and our custom there. So in a couple of hours, together with some women, some young girls and so on, we were doing some very silly dances on the stage. And then Johnson came and rescued me from the last of this. When I was told that coming back here to Kerala, I was here in 2019 with a very successful session there and the program, and I was so impressed by Cici and Diana and the staff of Fourth Way and Project VENDA. We went to see the football tournament, and this is actually where I feel the best way. When I'm out of this room, when I'm down on the ground, together with people, together with children and so, and see what society can do, civil society. And then they asked me to come here this year, and I think this is, I could talk about child rights or whatever, and suddenly I saw in the program that I should talk about civil society, what and why. And this is some reflections from me. You must understand that I'm a Swedish guy. I'm born, raised in this little country far up north. We think we are in the middle of the world. We are the leading country, more or less, when it comes to, at least we was, when it comes to moral and educational and so on. But due to this organization that I have been a member of for, well, actually 60 years now, I had the possibility to visit some of our organizations around the world, in Africa. That was a real experience. I can well understand where human beings raised. I must say, together with women's group in the West Africa in the middle of the night when the electricity is gone and you are dancing with the drums, then you feel that you are a human being in a way. You feel that you are together with someone. It's not artificial. It's not on the computer. It's not on the screen. And then coming to Asia, to find out the culture here, I can understand that we are fooled. We are, well, I don't know what we are way back north, but anyway, we are pretending a lot of things. So, with this said, you must understand my background and how I look upon civil society. When it comes to civil society, you have to discuss it. You need to put it in where it is. I'm not an academic person when it comes to this. It's my perspective, I must say. So please take it for what it is like this. But we have the state. The state is responsible for the army, the security, some kind of the police, and running the country when it comes. In some countries they are efficient when it comes to electricity, the postal service. Other countries they are selling it out. And then you have the society between the state and the family. And the family is also something you can discuss all over the world. What is a family? In Africa you have very big extended families. When I say, who is this person that you say you are your brother? Oh, yes, he's from the same village. I think he's some relative. But we call him brother. But in my country, we have mother, father, and then the siblings, and you have the cousins, and you go further down a little bit and so on. So the family, and then when coming back to Sweden, you can say the family is shrinking. We are not big families. My mother and father, they had 6, 7 siblings, and now I have 1 sister, my children are 2, and in a number of families, it's only 1. They are single families. So you cannot say that family is something like this. But if you define the society like this, you have state. And state, what is a state? Is it expanding? It's taking everything. It's taking the society more or less. Or is something like that. And what society? Yeah, then you have the business. And in our country, we can say you have people's movement. We are very proud of that in Sweden, of the people's movement. The trade unions, the religious groups, the temperance organizations, because they build the democracy of Sweden. They form the democracy. So we call it the people's movements. And inside the people's movements, when I look into the dictionary, they say that my organization is a non-profit movement. It's not a political one. It's not a religious one. It's a non-profit. And then when you look upon the non-profit movements, you can define them as grassroots. Today we have more professional civil society or non-profit movements. And then you have the gongos. I met the gongos, the governmental organizations, non-governmental organizations. That's silly. But that was created during the time when some countries, some governments could see that if you had an NGO, you get funding from more sources outside the normal ones. And how to deal with that? Is that a gongo? I met them, for example, when it comes to drugs. You have it in Southeast Asia. You have an umbrella called International Federation of Non-Governmental Organizations that was founded some 20, 25 years ago. It was founded by the governments more or less in the Southeast, or in the ASEAN region, with national organizations, national NGOs that was monitored and governed by the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Justice, or whatever. And there was some kind of civil society, but it was always looking up for the governmental directives and the laws and what was changing. So we need to look into what kind of organizations is civil society really? Is it the grassroots? Is it democratic ruled? or is it steered by something else? And what we have seen now, the last decade, is that the space for civil society is shrinking. There is more civil society organizations. They are growing, but the space, what they can do is limited. We can see it in Europe, we can see it in Asia, we can see it everywhere. And then you can ask, is there a threat of civil society? Of course it is. For the ruling parties, it's a threat. Because civil society mostly are gathering people who want to do something else than the life is right now. They can support part of society. They can support part of what we are doing. But mostly they are looking at the obstacles, the challenges for people, for young people, for children, for marginalized people, for drug addicts, whatever. There you have it. They want to have change. Obama used the word changed when he succeeded the president race. And then change was gone when he faced reality. Really sorry. But we need to understand that civil society is looking to change something. Either to support something good that is a minority in the society. It's very seldom civil society is the majority, the ruling class or something like that. If it is, it's been captured by something. And today we can see leaders of civil society are killed, are deported, are refused to say something, and are kept in asylum. When we, from my organization, Movendi International, look upon, we as a civil society, who are we combating? Who is the, let's say, enemy? I don't actually would like to say enemy, but on the other side. Well, first of all, we have the big alcohol. The companies. They are using everything to increase the market, to get more and more people to drink alcohol, to use it in more efficient way for them, and to have the revenue. And when looking at, I don't have any figures. I'm an educated economist, but I don't have figures in my presentation here. But when you say that alcohol is normal, you don't say that the majority of the people around the globe are not using alcohol. They don't say that. They are pretending that everyone is using it. If you look in the country where we are now, in India, a majority of people are not using alcohol. You are smashing liquor stores in Kerala. You are doing everything to get rid of this burden. But what we can see in the newspaper, what we can see on the social net is use this, be brave, be fantastic, you be a new person, and you be loved by others. So big alcohol is one of the key objects we are facing. Then we have the big tobacco. Big tobacco was the first, you can say, organization that used the playbook where we have marijuana today. They wanted us to use tobacco as a medical thing from the beginning. It was good for people to use tobacco. Then it was recreational, and they hid all the evidence of what tobacco caused for the body, for society. They are doing the same when it comes to marijuana. They have bought the trademarks, they have gone in in the companies. You can see them are sharing business. The role models are there. So big tobacco is the other one. And then we have the narcotic drugs. They are now in the social media. They are everywhere, as you can see, as the last presenter said. And together with this, you can wash the money, the dirty money, into white money. And as I have been working, as you saw from my CV more or less, on the global side with this for a number of years, I have also been discussing the terrorism. When the narcotic feed the cash and the weapons industry and the terrorist threat. I'm not sure that they can survive without it. I'm sure they can, but it's a big part of it. So in this sense, the narcotic drugs is the third element we have to face. And then coming to civil society organization. We can see that society as a whole has developed. CC said that we are screenagers, or at least not, well, we are as well, I can see from the mobile phones and so on. But the civil society has developed. And we need, in a way, to follow. We need to see what we can do. The membership, my organization has individual members in local branches, in national organizations, and then up to this international umbrella. We can see that the number of individual members in the local clubs are shrinking. They are not going to gatherings today, in the Western world at least. They are more individual. They are not thinking in a collective way. In a collective way is against more or less how the world is going into the populist right-wing way, or if it's going back to, if it stays for solidarity. But what we can see is we have a problem when it comes to the structure. 15 years ago, we understood that. We said to ourselves, what is our core values? What do we need to do to have some kind of impact, to have better public health and so on? And we went down, how are we presented? What are we saying? How are we organized and so on, and what are our membership? And we started the journey from there. And step by step, first we became a member of ECOSOC. This is another story. When applying for a membership in ECOSOC, they asked me as a representative of our organization, can we have your legal status when you were founded from your government? Yeah, I said, this is a problem for us because we were founded 150 years ago. And at that time, they didn't say that you are allowed to work. The society was not this, oh, it's going to work. So in a way, we had to step up to be a Swedish local organization. That was okay for the UN, and now they understand a little bit more. We started to work in the UN system. With that, we had also good connections to the World Health Organization, WHO, and with the expertise from our membership, we could create something that was important for WHO to understand. Because you had the alcohol companies and the influence from the alcohol companies on the governments in UK, in US, Japan and China and so on. And they was very influential when it comes to the UN system as well. So to have WHO to talk about alcohol, no, that was a no way. But slowly, talking to different friendly governments in Central Europe, in the Nordic countries, in Africa, in Asia. We have had partners in India, we have partners in Sri Lanka, we have partners in Thailand, in Uganda, in Kenya, South Africa, and so on. Together with them, we could build the momentum where even WHO accepted that they needed to do something. The lobbying from the alcohol, big alcohol, was immense, but we did it. And now there is a global alcohol action plan that has been adopted. And we are, as an organization, attending the board of WHO when they have board meetings as just visitors, but we can talk between two eyes during the tea break and so on. And we have continued to do this, step by step, building up programs together with other civil society organizations, other networks. WFAD is one part of it because we had to, in a way, take away the narcotic drugs and see that there are more organizations supporting the work against narcotic drugs, but they are not alcohol-free like Movendi International. So that's why WFAD was created as another network where we are members. And this is what we are doing right now. We are trying to find out cancer societies. They are very supportive. They can understand that alcohol and cancer has a number of links and so on. And this is how we can build a new organization where we can have other membership models and so on. I have said liberal forces here on the slide, and that's what I mean with that is those who are working to liberate, to have decriminalized or legalized cannabis or drugs. What I haven't talked about is the funding of civil society. Where do we have our money? Is it from members? Some of us have, depending on what kind of organization you have. You have membership fees or what contributions in that. Some is funding by governments, local governments or national ones. Some have funding from different other sources. When it comes to those who want to decriminalize and legalize drugs, they have big fundings from foundations. And this is also critical because some of the foundations are working with more than drugs, of course. This is just a small part of their work. So part of the foundation's work is very good, but then they are seeing the liberalization, the legalization of drugs as a liberal thing for them. And we need to discuss this, we need to front this, but they have the money there and they can expand in their way. And we need to challenge that. Now something is happening. That was more or less the last slide. So what we are doing I need to have the last. So now where do we go from now? Because we have seen the scene, we know how it has developed, the civil society. But in the future, what can we do? And I can see two things. First of all, I can see a new generation, the young generation, even if they are very individual in a way and they are sitting there with the computers and everything. they don't tolerate what governments, authorities are saying. They don't obey in the threat and so on. So this is something we need to take to us, that there is a movement around the world when it comes to climate change, when it comes to freedom, when it comes to young girls' rights, whatever. We can see it in Iran, how they fight against the regime. They cut off their hairs. They are willing to go to prison. They even risk their lives, a number of them. We can see it in Myanmar, where young people are going against the military. They want to have freedom. They want to be part of a better future. This is part, we need to find those people. We need to take their engagement, their commitment, we need to have to our civil society. On the other hand, they are very individualistic in the things. More of them are looking to my future and so on. When it comes to the Western world, you can see. So this is something I really cannot project. I cannot see where to go to meet those two. But my hope and my belief is that you who are sitting here, you who are working with those people, you who know their needs, and you who also understand the strength and the commitment and the power the young generation have if they can express, and with the guidance of people who are on the right side, they can also be part of a civil society that will flourish in the future. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to see what you can do during the next days. Thank you.